And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, elves and zebras, fairies and gypsies. What is this, the second or third or 50th video I've made today? So, as of next week, I will have lived in the United States for 46 years. 46 years. That's a long time. I spent about 40 of those in Tejas, in Texas. And I hated every second of it. All I wanted to do was go back to Spain. I just wanted to go back home. You know, I had this thing in my head where I sort of made Spain into something it really wasn't, because it wasn't that good under Franco. It wasn't good at all. People getting shot in the streets, and they just come and arrest you, and you never know why. There's bribery and all. Well, I don't want to get into all this. So much has changed over there. Thankfully, so much has changed. But until moving to New Hampshire, I didn't want to live in this country. I went through hell in Texas. I did not like it. And all those child abusers, they're walking the streets. Some of you are child rapists. Others knew about it and didn't do a damn thing. I remember once watching there's a lady in a psych hospital. She was trying to call an organization called Advocacy Inc., Advocacy Incorporated, which is supposed to be the state agency in Texas that protects the rights of mental health patients. Well, that's a bunch of BS. They don't do anything. Because I once sat down in front of a lady and told her about the incident, a lady who worked for Advocacy. They said, "Oh, well, we'll just send them a letter and tell them to turn their phones on." They beat this woman. This woman, she's in a wheelchair. She could stand up. She could walk a little bit sometimes. I later, actually, I wouldn't say I knew her, but I was in a program that she was in. We weren't in the same part of the program, but we were in the same program. And all she was doing was demanding to call Advocacy Incorporated. And they kept telling her, "Shut up and sit down, shut up and sit down, shut up and sit down, we're going to put you in an isolation cell." And finally, this old lady in a wheelchair, they jump up, like 5 staff jump up and knock her to the ground, inject her with some sort of drug, and strap her down in an isolation cell. And you think I'm supposed to like Texas when that kind of crap goes on? I forget the case name, Herrera versus somebody. Mr. Herrera was an innocent man. The United States Supreme Court acknowledged he was innocent. And they killed him anyway. The family members of the victim, who knew this guy was innocent, went to the execution. They knew he was innocent. The Supreme Court said he was innocent. Other courts had not acknowledged he was innocent. They killed him anyway. The Supreme Court said, well, as long as he's been through the justice system, it doesn't matter if he's innocent, as long as he's been through the justice system. That's a bunch of BS. The governor of Texas should have given him a full pardon. The parole board should have given him a full pardon. He wasn't guilty of anything. And that's not the only case in Texas. Mr. Wellingham, there was another case with a young man who was accused of murdering a nun. And they executed him too, or murdered him. It's not called execution, it's called murder. So, and then all the crap I went through as a child. All this stuff in Texas. And you want to know why I hate Texas? If you can't figure it out, you got a problem. I moved to New Hampshire, and life is good here in New Hampshire. And we have 4 seasons instead of 1. Or actually, Texas, to be honest, has 2 seasons. This summer and last summer. But up here, we have 4 seasons. And guess what? It can reach the century mark up here. Doesn't do it every summer, but it does do it. So,
I'm going to storage and tear it apart to find my thing.
So anyway, this is my sort of my birthday, and it was when we moved. My late wife and I moved to Texas. I mean, moved from, well, she wasn't from Texas. She was from Illinois. I mean, I had only lived in I had never lived in any other part of the United States but Texas. That was it. That's all I knew. I had lived in other countries. I mean, we didn't just leave Spain and come to the United States. We drove from España to Andorra, France. Went to Liechtenstein and Austria. Well, the direction we went from Spain, Andorra, France. You have to kind of go through France to get to Andorra. So we went. Anyway, so we went from Spain to France to Andorra, through France again, to Switzerland, then to Austria, then to Germany. But we also visited Liechtenstein. My parents visited other places, not me. But those are some of the places I visited. And I lived in Germany. I lived in Spain. And I want to say life was good in those places. Germany, things were pretty good because it was not third world. It was more democratic. Germany, I have to say this, the German people really picked up after the war. They really got back to living. What else can you say about them? They fixed things up, cleaned things up, and got back to living their lives. And I don't think just anyone and everyone is capable of that. Maybe they are, but I don't know. You don't always see it happen that way. Japan was the same way. I think they may have had a little harder time, took a little longer for them, I don't know. But after the bombings of Japan and the nukes, the 2 nukes that were dropped on Japan, and look at Japan today, it's a first world country. Pretty darn good one in my opinion. Would I choose to live in Japan, or would I live to live in Germany? Would I choose to live in Japan, or would I choose to live in Germany? I wouldn't choose to live in either one of those 2 countries. Okinawa maybe, but Okinawa has changed a lot since I was there. Spain has changed a lot. I don't know how much Germany has changed. I'm sure it's changed considerably since I was there. But we moved to New Hampshire, and everything was different up here. Everything is different up here. I really, people are people. You have good people, you have bad people. You have great people, you have horrible people. You have, no matter where you live, there's going to be problems. But I think part of it is the town that we live in. They're just great people here. I've never lived any place like this before. I've never lived. Every place I've been in New Hampshire, frankly, every place I've been in Vermont has been great. I've never lived in Vermont. I don't want to live in Vermont, but it's a nice place. I don't care for Massachusetts. We have a nickname for people from Massachusetts up here called massholes. It's not that everybody in Massachusetts is bad. It's just, they're so overregulated and so many laws and regulations in Mass that people, they get up here and like, oh, I can drive fast. I can take my seatbelt off. So they do, and they act like horses patoots when they get here. It's not that they're being bad or mean necessarily. They just, I have some freedom, I'm going to live it up. And they kind of go a little too far with it. But here in New Hampshire, we have real winters, real summers, Real springs, real falls. Forests are beautiful up here. The mountains, the hills, the creeks, the rivers, creeks, excuse me. I still say some stuff, like soda water. My girlfriend's from the South. She doesn't say soda water. I say soda water. Soda water is a real Texas thing. Soda water is like RC Cola, Coke, Pepsi, whatever. But I like it up here. I love it up here. And the only thing I would like is to live in a more rural area. Let me tell you, if something bad ever happens and people start evacuating New York City and Boston, they're going to come right here. Or they're going to come through here anyway, and we're going to have we're going to have a traffic jam. So I hope nothing ever happens like that. But I love it here, and I love the people here. And 46 years, kind of like a birthday, because it was a week before my birthday that we moved to the United States, and so it's a birthday. So anyway, happy birthday to the United States, or happy birthday whatever. I don't know, happy birthday whatever. What? Oh, so bye bye.